Coming at y'all live again. This time it's from no podcast. Shout out to the Golden Gemz podcast, though. It's from a booth. These rhymes and these words been long overdue. It's been way overdue. But it's okay, though. I'm back now. Testing. We live? Can you hear me? Yeah, I think you can hear me. Hey, welcome back, my beautiful people. Yes, you here. Of course, you here. You feel me with the one and only Relly on what? The Golden Gemz podcast, baby. Yes, the only podcast where you can get, everything. Generational wealth building tips, passive income tips, book tips, sports tips, sports talk. What else? What more do you want from me? I got everything for you. I like you. Yes, I got everything for you. But yes, welcome back, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Golden Gemz podcast. The Golden Gemz podcast. Let me say it one more time, just for the people in the back. Yeah, in the very back over there. The Golden Gemz podcast. Yes, man. You here, of course, with the one and only Relly. Yes, we are here. We are live, and welcome back. Today, I got a good episode for you. Today, we're talking about books. Yes, today we're talking about books. I got this book right here, Think and Grow Rich. I got this book right here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I almost butchered it, even though it's in my face. But anyway, y'all know how I go. And hey, got the legend, MAMBA Mentality, Kobe Bryant. Yes, we're talking about books, people. Books. And yeah, y'all need to read. You don't need to go to college to read. You don't need to go to high school to read. You do need to go to elementary school and middle school, though, just to learn a little something. But anyway, yes, man, I got y'all here today. I got a couple books for us to talk about and actually get into together. But obviously, you're here for one reason only. And that's to get tips, man, on not just life, on building generational wealth and, building, just a foundation for yourself to, carry you forward, within your own life. And, we're really with this podcast, man, my goal is to always give y'all gems and always give you tips that you can, take. Like I said, you can take it three ways. You can take the things that I say. One, apply it directly to your life and flip it, switch it, or just listen and take exactly what I say and apply it to your life. Or two, take it, flip it, twist it, put your own spin on it, make it your own. Or three, let this shit go one out the other, and it don't make a difference to me which one you decide. But I hope you decide the first option one or option two. Door number one or door number two. Door number three is there, but I really don't want you to choose door number three ever. You come in here for one reason. You come in here to get these quick gems. And yes, if you seeing this visually, if you catching the visual feed on the Golden Gemz podcast, you see I did not tie my tie today. And I got my stuff all the way, buckled up, chin up. You feel me? But, I want to come, kind of raw today. But, at the end of the day, I came suited and booted, as good as I can. I do what I can around here. You feel me? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Hold on. Before we actually really get into it, hey, I got a quick gem for y'all, man. Yes, I even wrote it down because I came across this and I kind of, I did option number two. What I tell y'all, I put my own little twist and my own little flair on it. And I felt like this is a great quote and something actually great to leave y'all with. And it's quick gems with Relly. Yes, quick gems. Here we go. Do not be discouraged by the distance you still have to travel. Instead, appreciate how many life miles you have already covered. Your struggles have changed you into a stronger and better person. Don't let anyone dissuade you from blooming into the person you are meant to be. Keep walking. Keep going forward. And keep being you. So really to touch on that real quick, I felt like that was a great whoever came up with that or came up with the beginning part. I kind of said whatever I wanted to say towards the end, but whoever came up with the beginning part of that quote or that saying, I feel like is a great saying in life because at the end of the day, like you should want to take your life forward and you should not care about, the bad situations that happen in your life or the bad things that have happened to you. You should actually care about, you feel me, all the steps and the miles that you traveled along, that path to get to where you are today. Like, it's no need to dwell or focus on the things that happened to you in the past. Because at the end of the day, if you always focus on the past and you're always looking in the rearview mirror, how can you ever, make and create a foundation for yourself to go forward? You can't. So the goal is for me always to preach to y'all and tell y'all, like, continue to go forward, continue to make your life the best life you can each and every day. Like, you have to have the courage to continue to go forward and weather whatever storm you may be going through, or even the good times, because know that even though you have those good days and those good times, they won't last forever. You're meant to have this roller coaster of a life. And it's not because, you're doing bad things, but it's because, God got you on a path and got you on a set journey that's unique to you, and he's putting you through all those things. He's putting you through all the twists and turns so that way you can eventually get on that one path and just go straight and not have that many bumps in the road, not see too many, you feel me, the road of tires, or you feel me, have anything wrenches, or you feel me, just anything that you can see on the road when you're traveling. He making that path for you. So when you eventually get on your path, eventually get on your purpose, eventually get on your destination to where you have to go forward, you can get there and it'll be smooth sailing. You feel me? It'll be like a nice plane ride up in the sky, no bumps, no turbulence, no nothing. You just up the, just, you chilling, man. And that's your life, man. Like at the end of the day, you have to embrace the bad. You have to embrace the storm. Because what's the storm, you feel me, without the rainbow at the end of it? You feel me? So this is just a message to y'all to continue to go through any storm, whether anything that you're going through, and continue to, chest up, chin up. And I'm proud of you. You feel me? Chest up, chin up, and go through any storm with your head held high and know that you can get through any battle that you're going through. Anyway, that was a quick gem. Yes, from yours truly, Relly. Hope you take it for what it is and you just continue to have the courage to, you feel me, fight anything and get through anything and let God place you on that journey and that pathway that's going to be straight for you to continue to go forward. But without further ado, let's get into our topic though of today for real, for real. And let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. And today we're talking about Think and Grow Rich. So this book, it low key took me a minute to finish. I'm not gonna lie, because I kept starting it, then I go do some other stuff, and then I come back to it, go do some whatever, and then I come back to it. But now your boy has finally finished it. Thank you, God, for giving me the courage to go ahead and make it through this. Because this book, damn near, was the book that took me the longest to get through. I don't know why. I don't really, hey, life happens. That's why. That's the answer. Life happens. But with this book, it's called Think and Grow Rich. It's by Napoleon Hill, and this is the forwarded version by Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey kind of put some of the things that was. This book actually came out and was published in 1937. 1937. So you got to imagine, what is that? Almost, don't come at me from a math. 70, let's go with 70 plus years. 70 plus years ago, this book was published and it was one of the best sellers in the world. And it's even still relevant today. And this was forwarded, excuse my French. I got these tongue twisters, man. This was, forwarded by Steve Harvey. And it pretty much said that, at the end of the day, it starts with your mindset. So that's what the thinking part comes from. Think. So with Think and Grow Rich, man, I really got a lot from this book. And, it starts with your mindset. And that's dang with anything in life. Like your mindset would lead you, excuse me, your mindset would lead you into the positive moments in your life, into the negative moments and the things that you feel me just happens to you on the regular basis. You feel me? It starts with your mindset and how you think towards that situation or whatever you're going through. So if you're always thinking positive, you're always looking at the positive outcome of things, even if things are going bad for you. If you're always thinking positive, you're like, nah, I'm gonna come out of this. Nah, I'm gonna be okay, regardless of whatever situation I'm in. It's gonna be okay because you have that mindset, because you have that positive outlook. And that was one of the first things I got from this book. And another thing that I got from it was, you feel me, have the burn and desire. And he actually talks about this. Like, at the end of the day, to achieve anything and achieve success, you have to have a burning desire. You have to have something that burns deep inside of you, that is, you feel me, a light that just doesn't go out. At the end of the day, if you have that in you, you will not let anything come in your way. You will not let anything stop you. You feel me? Like, the only thing that, you feel me, separates a winner and a loser is a winner just never refused to give up because they have that burning desire. They have that burning will inside them. You feel me? And a loser, what do? They ended up giving up and they end up walking away. You feel me? For me in my life, let me give you an example. Like, I walked away from football. You can say that that was a loser's decision, or you can say it was a winner's decision. In my opinion, it was a winner's decision because I chose a path that I felt was better for me in the long term for my life. You feel me? Or you can look at it, it was a loser's decision. It was a loser's decision because I chose to walk away for something that I was working so long and so hard to go, go get and get after. But at the end of the day, you feel me? It's you. You have to look yourself in the mirror for the decision that you make in this life. And at the end of the day, I'm, still able to wake up and look and smile in the mirror and knowing that God got me and I'm going to be good on whatever path I set forth. You feel me? And that's what the winner's mindset does to you. That's what having that burning desire within you, you feel me, to still know that you're going to succeed in whatever you put your mind to. And that's what this book kind of hits on the head, within the first few chapters, man. It's like having that burning desire to succeed and having that thing that you can manifest. You feel me? And it's kind of like, too, this is like one of the third things I got from this book. It's like, you feel me, telling yourself that I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna make millions of dollars. And he actually goes into saying that and gives you like a set list of, like, I think it's 6 steps, to where one is just writing it down, so how much money you want. Two, it's actually, manifesting it. So how can I get this? How can I attain this? Three, it's, actually, putting a specific date on, saying I'm gonna achieve it by this date. And then four, it's writing it out and looking at it daily. And well, that's like four and five. Four and five kind of go together for me. But anyway, like, it's having that thing. So say if, I want $1 million, I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna look at it every single day. I'm gonna set a date. I want $1 million by this date, and I'm gonna do everything in between to go get that $1 million. That's kind of what I kind of took from it at the beginning of a few chapters. Like, it starts with your mindset. It starts with having that burning desire within you. And then it starts with seeing that thing that you want. So say, for that example, it was $1 million. So seeing that $1 million and now figuring out, how can I get that $1 million? At the end of the day, nothing is going to come easy. And that's what this book kind of goes into saying. Like, this book, he interviewed like a lot of different people, from Franklin D. Roosevelt, Henry Ford, and like, who was another person? Franklin D. Roosevelt, Henry Ford. I know I'm missing one. Uh, Andrew Carnegie. Shoot, and then there was a few other people too. But that's just like, I want to say, just the rough, I'm not trying to tell y'all the whole book, but that's like the rough, like, I guess, summary of pretty much this book. Because I really want y'all to go read it. Like, if you want to be successful, if you want to, actually spark that thing within yourself and kind of, start setting the foundation for yourself to actually, go forward, I suggest, this is a great book to read. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, whether it's the Steve Harvey forwarded version, or it's a couple other versions that's out there too, or the original book. So go ahead, definitely cop it. And they hit on a couple other things that was within the book. Like, one example too was, it was with Henry Ford, actually, the man who invented the Ford. So, the Fords that y'all drive, SO to y'all don't really drive. I don't like Fords like that. I'm sorry, it is what it is. But to, set Ford apart back in the I think it was the 1930s or the 1920s, actually, to set him apart, every car had a 4-cylinder. But in order to kind of, make his brand and make the Ford company better, he was like, I want an 8-cylinder car. I want a V6. No, it wasn't even a V6. It was a V8 engine. I want a V8 engine, V8 cylinder in the car. And he was like, he told his, I guess, his manufacturers, hey, start working on this now. And they was like, it's not possible. It can't happen. And he kept telling them, like, I don't care if it's not possible. I don't care if it can't happen. Make it happen. So 6 months passed. Nothing really happened. Then they tell him, hey, we can't do it. It's impossible. 12 months passed. Nothing really happened. They're saying, we've tried every single way. We cannot do this. We cannot give you 8-cylinder. It's too big. It's not going to work. That engine in that car will not work. And then guess what? He kept saying, no, do it. Make it happen. I don't care what you have to do. I will pay all the expenses. Make sure that I get a V8. And ultimately, 2 years later, what ended up happening? They ended up making a V8 engine, and now all these cars got all these big ass engines in them because it started with Henry Ford. And it started with him having that relentless and that burning desire to say, I want this and I'm going to get it. Not that, he wants it and he's going to make somebody else get it, but he was so set in stone because he could have said, after the first 6 months, nah, scrap it. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter anymore because y'all can't do it. Y'all can't make it happen. So just forget it. But 6 months passed, 12 months passed, 2 years. And it finally happened after 2 years. And that goes with anything in life. Like, you have to have perseverance. You have to have, the strength to get through anything that you're going through in life because, you might get told no. You might have the door shut on you. That idea of making that big old computer might not work the first time. That was just a random example, but it might not work the first time, but if you keep pressing on it and you keep burning and you keep hitting that brick against the wall, eventually, hey, that brick will go through the wall. You feel me? I don't know. That was a weird analogy too. I don't know where I'm getting these knowledge from. Hey, it is what it is. But anyway, like with just that idea, man, it was like, it was special because at the end of the day, like it tells you, like, have the courage and have the wherewithal within yourself to not take no for an answer with any situation that you're going through. Anything that you want, make sure that you exhaust all options before you close that door on and at the end of the day, like with this book, like I feel like it gave so many different gems, man, and it was just so awesome just to see all the different things and all the different ideas and all the different people that he interviewed and talked to that just refuse to not let the no go for answer or not letting the impossible go. Like it was another story in this book that I enjoyed where it was a father and his son ended up being deaf. So with his son being deaf, like he was like, I'm not gonna let my son have those limitations. I will teach my son how to hear. I will teach my son, you feel me, that he can be more than just a deaf child. So what he did was, as he was growing up, as he was a baby, he put headphones on him. He put headphones and having him listen to music and different things like that, always playing music, always singing around him. And eventually, as his son got older, he started to pick up on little sound vibrations and things like that that was happening around him. And then fast forward, I want to say to where his son was almost, going into college. So 18, 19, he ended up developing hearing aids that actually started a company to help other kids go further along. And then his son actually ended up being able to hear with the hearing aids, even though he was completely deaf. And that just goes from a father saying, I don't care what y'all say, even though I know my son can never hear, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I get him to at least be normal, but all the normal things that he was giving him the sound vibrations by always playing music for him and having his son actually pick up on those little things and actually, dang, okay. And then eventually being able to hear, that's a remarkable story. I didn't really explain it right, but I explained it in the way I interpreted it. So you feel me? You can go ahead, read the book, and you can see what else you get from it. But honestly, it was a great book in my opinion, man. You're not defeated until you accept defeat. And that was another thing I took away from this book. Like at the end of the day, you can be successful. You can really go ahead and grind and get everything that you want in this life if you refuse to never give up, to never be defeated. You feel me? And that's the thing. Like, that's why with me, I'm starting a whole nother journey. I'm starting a whole nother chapter, and I'm just refusing not to be defeated again. Yes, you feel me? And I guess going back into football, like, I didn't feel like I was defeated. I left with chin up, head up, chest out, chin up. Feel me? That's how I left the game. And that's how I'm going to continue to go further in this next life, or this next chapter in my life, excuse me, but same thing. Like, that's how I'm going to continue to go forward, because I'm choosing to go forward, regardless of whatever situation or whatever happened to me in the past. I'm not letting my past dictate my future. And that's what a lot of people have to do. Like, don't let the things that happen to you, mess up your future and mess up where you're going and mess up God's plan for you. Don't ever get discouraged by having a door shut on you to not think that it's 10 more doors that's going to open for you afterwards. And that's the thing. Like, I got to continue to just have the faith and have the courage to, go forward. And at the end of the day, I think, I didn't get all that from this book, but this book actually sparked a lot of different things in me to just actually, better control my mindset, think more positive, have the driven desire, and to understand, that anything is possible if you really put in the work. And if you also, too, just have the relentless burning desire to not let anything subside. Start writing down ideas, start writing down that you want to be a millionaire, and then think of all the ways that you can make that million. And that's what I got from the book, man. So Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, forward Steve Harvey. Go check it out. Next book. So these are two books. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I actually was not trying to read this book for the longest time, but I've heard so many great things about it. I've seen so many things that I'm like, you know what? Like, what's the hype about? So now this is a book that I just grabbed that I'm actually going to start reading. So I'll actually give y'all like little snippets and just little gems that I pick up from it, throughout my time reading it. And I'm going to bring y'all a couple gems, man. And, hopefully, if you want to read this book too, hey, go ahead, pick it up. We can, hit me up in the comments, hit me up, and, let me know what you think about it, because I'm gonna definitely read it. And if you have read it, don't spoil it for me, but give me a couple tips, or give me like a little summary in the comments to what you learned about it, because I'm gonna definitely read it. I'm gonna definitely check it out, because I've definitely heard about because I actually listened to him too on podcasts. I've listened to a few podcasts with him on, and his name is Robert T. Kiyosaki. So Robert T. Kiyosaki, go check him out. He's actually a great author. I think I've read actually kind of like partly one of his other books. I forgot the name of it, but it was like dang near like in high school I came across it. So, I'm gonna go ahead dive into this one, and we're gonna see, how I like it. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my phone just went off, but hey, we're gonna see how we like it though. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm gonna give y'all a nice review on this one as well, and let you know everything that I got from it. And of course, another book that I'm gonna be reading. I ain't gonna throw that one. That's a fresh one. You feel me? Any other book, you feel me? Hey, we done with it. You feel me? But I always go back to, this is another thing too. Like, even though you done reading the book, I feel like you should always go back sometimes and just highlight. Look at because I highlight as I go through books. Just look at your highlights. Look at your little notes if you put notes in books, and look and just see, like, you can still pick up those good gems that you got from that book, even though you're not reading it on a regular basis or you're done reading it. Like, always go back and just be like, hey, I remember that. And maybe it might spark an idea in you. Maybe it might spark, you getting out of a creative spell that you were in. Like, say you were stumped, or say, if you had a music block, if you write music and things like that, anything, like, it can help you just get through your day sometimes, just going back and reading, like, dang, yes, that quote, that thing that I just read, that helps, because, help me get through the day. So last but not least, Kobe Bryant, the MAMBA Mentality. I have been waiting to read this book for the longest time, and I will give y'all a major review on it. It's just, like I said, I've been ripping and running, taking care of a lot of things in my personal life. And now I feel like it's finally time for me to go ahead, get a couple gems from my GOAT, SL Kobe, and, look into this memoir and really see, what's, the secret codes behind the MAMBA mentality. That's what I'm looking for, the secret codes. So this is another book that I'm going to dive into. I feel like, hey, even if you don't like reading, or even if you like reading audiobooks, I personally like physical books because it kind of puts me into like, the mode to where I'm actually doing this. I'm actually, being productive instead of listening to audiobooks. I'll listen to audiobooks, but sometimes with audiobooks, they don't really register for me. I've read a couple. I even had to go back twice and listen to the Will Smith book. I don't know if y'all seen the Will Smith, his memoir. His book is actually phenomenal, honestly, in my opinion. If you haven't read that book, you should definitely go check it out. But his book was another one I read. And you feel me? With just reading books in general, I feel like you should always be feeding your brain, man. And with me, I'm removed from college, I'm removed from sports. So I got to continue to feed this little thing. I got to continue to feed it some knowledge, in the meantime, and honestly, like, I feel like reading, one of the sayings that I didn't say earlier that I meant to say, like, they put things that you put things that you don't want people to know, you put them in books, because not too many people pick up books and not many people read anymore. So at the end of the day, if you want some secrets, you want to find out some secret codes of the, and learn some history and things like that, and just, actually start expanding your brain and expanding, your horizon a little bit by just gaining more knowledge for yourself. And this is how you create passive income too, because you can use some of the ideas they've had in these books and some of the, things that they talk about. You can, hey, put them in your own life and try to figure out, how to go forward within your own life by using, what they taught you in the book. So I mean, at the end of the day, like, books are a great thing, man. And if you don't read, I advise you to, hey, grab an audiobook, see if that helps you. I mean, you probably listen to music, you listen to podcasts, obviously. So why not, grab an audiobook, and let it play in your ears and see if that works for you. Or if you like me, go ahead, grab a physical copy of a book and, dive into it. And this is, just something that I just wanted to do for y'all because, of course, y'all don't always want to hear me talk about some of these random things that I talk about. But at the end of the day, anything can help further you along your journey. And say if you're an entrepreneur, definitely reading and actually finding other tips and other lanes for yourself is key. And for me, shoot, I'm trying to be one of the best entrepreneurs to ever live. So I'm gonna continue to brush up on my knowledge. I'm gonna continue to work my ass off in these other areas that I don't, about, and I'm gonna go forward. And you should always go forward. Always have the courage to, weather any storm that you're going through. Continue to know that, hey, at the end of the day, you're gonna be successful. You're gonna get to where you want to get to, and all it takes is a little hard work. So I hope y'all enjoyed this episode today. I'm gonna cut it short now, right here. And guess what? You here on the Golden Gems podcast, baby. And we out. Deuces.